So we are going to start with a chapter which is called Problem Solving and Data Analysis Unit Conversion. This is a very, very, very simple chapter. A very, very, very simple chapter. It's a very, very, very simple chapter. Perhaps the easiest chapter in SAT. Perhaps the easiest chapter in SAT. And we are going to solve some basic unit conversion things. Some basic unit conversion things because the chapter which has its name unit conversion, the problems are also going to be with unit conversion. Okay, so just look at the example number one. We're just going to start with the example number one, which is telling us that example number one, there are 5 to 80 feet in 1 mile. If Susan runs 3.5 miles, how many feet did she run? Okay, 3.5 mile she has ran. She has ran. She has ran 3.5 miles. So 1 mile equals to 5 to 80 feet. So 3.5 miles is just gonna be 3.5 into 5 to 80 feet. That is it. That is it. That is how many feet she did run. Okay. I don't think you just need to make these complicated things like this. There's no necessary, okay? Because you can do it. You can do in this way. This is not a wrong process. This process is not wrong. Okay. This process that they have just told you, this process, it's not wrong. It's correct. But we are really wanting to save some time. We're really wanting to save some time. And to save some time, we really need to do the problems in the easiest way, time-saving way, because that is not going to ask you how good basic you have, rather than how many problems you have solved correctly in just a given time. Okay, so you just need to multiply it. And why we are multiplying it? Because we know that 1 mile is consisted of 5 to 80 feet. And 3.5 miles is nothing but just 3.5 into 5 to 80 feet. That is it. Maybe in some upcoming examples, we're going to solve some different type of problems. Okay, so example number two is saying that Ahmad has 300 US dollars that he wants to convert into euros. His bank offers an exchange rate of 0.83 euros for 1 US dollar. Assuming there are no fees or taxes, if Ahmad converts all 300 of his dollars to euros, how many euros will he have? So you just need to convert from US dollar to euro, right? So he has 300 US dollars. He has 300 USD. He has 300 USD. So he wants to convert it to euros. So the problem, if you want to solve this problem, then you just need to write some equation. 1 US dollar is equals to 0.83 euro. 0.83 euros. Or 300 USD is equals to 0.83 into 300 euros. This is it. Okay, 0.83 into 300. If you solve this problem, then you would get the answer. 0.83, let me do it for you. 0.83 into 300. This is 249. This is 249 euros. This is 249 euros. Just write it. Just don't make it too much complicated. Maybe we can do this process. But it's not time saving, okay?
Okay.
And this is necessary. Basically, this thing is basically really necessary. It is necessary. These things are necessary. But at this very moment, I'm not going to teach you right this, because we are going to learn this particular very process in some other examples. Okay. So example number 3 is Emily took a bike ride that was 8 kilometers long. Given that there are approximately 0.6214 miles in a kilometer and 5 to 80 feet in a mile, approximately how many feet was Emily's bike ride? Emily took a bike ride that was 8 kilometers long. Given that there are approximately 0 to 0.621 for miles in a kilometer and 5 to 80 feet in a mile. Approximately how many feet was Emily's bike ride? Okay, so the question is given. The question is given basically in we need to find feet. Okay, how many feet? We need to find how many feet. But the question is given. But the problem statement. But in the problem statement, we are given in kilometers. Okay, we are given in kilometers. We are given in kilometers. We are given in kilometers. So approximately how many feet was Emily's bike ride? So now what we need to do, that is basically we can use the data that is given. We can use the information that is given here. The information that is given here. So now what can we do? That is basically we can convert the kilometer. We can convert the kilometer. We can convert the kilometer into miles. Okay. We can convert the kilometer into miles. And then we can convert these miles into feet. Because we know the relationship between kilometer and miles. It is already given in the question. And we can also know the relationship between miles and feet because it is already given. It is already given, okay? It is already given. So we just need to convert the kilometers to miles and then convert to feet. Okay, so excuse me. So now 8 kilometers, we can write it kn. 8 kilometers is equals to 8 kilometers is equals to 8 into 0.6214 miles. 0.6214 miles. So 8 kilometers equals something this miles. And if you want to multiply this 8 into 0.6214 miles by multiplying 5280 number, then you get the feet answer. Okay, you get the feet answer. So this is gonna be the answer. Okay? This is gonna be the answer. As simple as that. You just need to convert the kilometer. You just need to convert the kilometer. Then you just need to convert it to miles. And then you just need to convert it to feet. Okay. As simple as that. As simple as that. Because they're telling you, they're just telling you because they're just telling you the relationship between kilometers and miles and feet. So you just need to make a relationship or build an equation from kilometer and miles. Firstly this, and then from miles to feet. And that's they have done. And that is what they have done. They have just converted kilometers to miles and from miles to feet. Example number 4. Example number 4. Timothy has 1 gallon of milk. There are approximately 3.785 liters in 1 gallon. How many milliliters of milk does Timothy have? Timothy has 1 gallon of milk. There are approximately 3.785 liters in 1 gallon. 3.785 liters in 1 gallon. How many milliliters of milk does Timothy have? So to find it in milliliters, that is basically we have 1 gallon. Okay, we have 1 gallon, and we have 1 gallon of milk, and 1 gallon is equal to 3.785 liters. 3.785 liters. Okay, so according to the liquid units, the units for liquid materials, because we have the units to for the liquid material. For example, milliliter, centiliter, deciliter, then liter, and then and so on and so on and so on. So we have the unit. We have the unit in liters. We have the unit in liters, for which is basically for liquid material, which is basically for liquid material, which is basically for liquid material. And 1 gallon, 1 gallon, 1 gallon is equals to 3.785 liters. 3.785 liters. Then we know that 1 liter equals to 1,000 milliliters, because if you can understand these things, then this problem will be quite easy for 12 inches in 1 foot, 60 seconds in 1 minute, 60 minutes in 1 hour. And the prefix just like Yocto, Zepto, Auto, Femto, Pico, Nano, Micro, Millicenti, Decimeter, Deca, Hecto, Kilo, Mega, Giga, Terapeta. Okay? Yocto, Zepto, Auto, Femto, Pico, Nano, Micro, Millicenti, Decimeter, Deca, Hecto, Kilo, Mega, Giga, Terapeta. So we have a pen drive, we have a flash drive, for example. It is saying that just for example, we have a hard disk drive in our computer, which is basically 1 terabyte, 1 terabyte, 1 terabyte. So 1 terabyte is basically nothing but 1000 gigabyte, 1000 gigabyte. So the prefix, they're just telling about the prefix milli, the prefix kilo, the prefix centi, the prefix centi, the prefix milli, the prefix kilo, all of them are some prefix, okay? And you just need to know that, please read it by your own self. I'm suggesting you, this is very important. Milli, centi, deci, liter, liter, gram. Then deca, hecto, kilo, mega, giga, and this is tera. We don't need any tera because tera is a very large size, and that's why after giga we have terabyte. There was a time when we used to use SD cards in mobile phone. SD cards in mobile phone is like 128 megabyte. Okay. In
Okay,
that
so
time,
basically you multiply that with 1,000 millimeters.
yes, exactly. This is it. So from moving this point to this point, you just need to multiply it with 10,
Okay.
and then 10, and then 10. Each step multiply with 10. So you cannot, if you just want to do some skipping, for example, if you just want to go to from centi to deca, if you just want to go to from centi to deca, convert it from centi to deca, then 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. 1 step, 2 step, and then 3 step. So 3 step means 10, 10, 10. So it means that 1 deca, I'm sorry for my mishandwriting. It means that 1 deca is equals to 1 into 10 into 10 into 10. I have converted it from centi, or whatever it is. Maybe it is decameter or centimeter or decaliter or centiliter, and it is decagram or centigram. Whatever it is, we can just convert it from any to it. This is multiplication. This is happening just because of the multiplication. But if we want to convert it from the upper one to the lower one, just like we are just going in this direction, we are just going just consider it in this direction. We are just going in this direction, just in this direction. But if we are interested to go in this direction, from, for an example, if we want to convert from tera, if we want to convert from uh, from tera to milli, we can use this procedure from larger from upper one, just for your convenience, from upper to lower, from upper to lower, from upper to lower, you can just multiply. You can do the multiplication. You can do the multiplication. But what will happen if you just gonna do? What will happen if we just gonna go from the lower one to the upper one? From the lower one to the upper one. For an example, I'm gonna ask you, what is 3.75 milliliter, 3.75 milliliter in terms of what decaliter, deca, what decaliter, what decaliter. How do you do that?
You divide.
Divide. Definitely divide. Because you're just gonna going from lower to upper lower to upper. So in that case, you just need to divide. The more steps, the many more times divide by 10. For example, from milli to we're going to from milli to deca. So 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step. So 3.5 milliliter, 3.75 milliliter is equals to what decaliter? There is basically 3.75 divided by 10, 10, 10, and 10. We're dividing, okay? From lower to upper, we're dividing. From going lower to upper, we're dividing. We are dividing. I'm sorry for my bad handwriting because sorry for my bad handwriting. So from lower to upper, we are just dividing, okay? This is what we can do. The same thing also happens here. Approximately how many kilometers are in a marathon, given that in a marathon to 26.22 miles, and there are 1.609 kilometers in a mile. 26.22 miles into 1.609 kilometers. What does that mean? It means that you are just going to need to multiply 26.22 into 1.609. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Because you are just converting from miles to kilometers. And they are already telling you that the relationship between miles and kilometers. They are telling you how to convert it. How many miles for how many kilometers? How many miles for how many kilometers? Okay.
Okay.
They're telling you how many miles for how many miles, how many miles for how many kilometers. The Empire State Building in New York City has a height of 1,250 feet, which, while if its pinnacle is included, it has a height of 1,454 feet. What is the height of just the pinnacle to the nearest whole meter, given that 3.28 feet in 1 meter? 3.28 feet in 1 meter, okay? So the Empire State Building in New York City has a height of something feet, while if its pinnacle is included, it has the height of 1,454 feet. What is the height of just the pinnacle to the nearest whole meter, given that 3.25 meter in 1 meter? Okay. So you just need to subtract it. You just need to subtract from the total height from just the height of the building, which is basically 1,454 negative 1,454 negative divided negative 1,250. You just need to find the answer, and then you just need to convert. This is basically the feet, and then you just need to convert it to meter, and then you just need to convert it to meter. Okay.
Okay.
Because they're telling you that 3.25 feet in 1 meter, 3.25 feet for 1 meter. Okay, so how can you convert it from feet to meter? How can you convert it from feet to meter? Because we're getting some numbers in feet, some numbers in feet, some numbers in feet, and how can we find the how can you find the answer in just like for an example, uh if we subtract 1,454 negative 1,250, you're gonna get an answer, right? You'll get an
Yeah.
answer that is basically what is that answer? Let me tell you, 1454 minus 1250. This is 2204 feet. And now you need to convert it to meter. And now you need to convert it to meter. And how do you convert it to meter? We're already
Divide.
give yeah, divided by. That is it. Divided by. You got it. Divided by 3.28, right?
Yeah.
That is a 2204 divided by 3.28. That is gonna be your answer in meter. That is it. Okay, so this is how our problems will look like. Is this a very simple problem? I don't think it's
Yeah.
a tough one. These are quite simple problem, quite simple, and this is it. The depth of feet, the depth of in feet of water D in a lake D in a lake X days after it was dammed in is given by this equation D equals 0.5x plus 30. Based on this equation, how many inches does the depth of water in the lake increase in each day? These are some pretty nice and enjoying examples. I think you should do it at this your home. So in 1875, Matthew Webb was the first person to successfully swim across the English Channel. He took about 22 hours to make the roughly 22-mile swim. Given that there are about 1.61 kilometers in a mile, what was his approximate average swimming speed for this trip in kilometers per hour? Some amazing problems, some not only amazing, but also it is enjoyable problems, some easy problems. In 1875, Matthew Webb was the first person to successfully swim across the English Channel. He took about 22 hours. He took about 22 hours. He took about 22 hours. He took about 22 hours to make the roughly 22-mile swim. Okay, given that there are approximately 1.61 kilometers in a mile, what was his approximate average swimming speed for this trip in kilometers per hour? So he took 22 hours to swim 22 miles. So he has swimmed 1 mile per hour. Am I correct?
Yes.
So you just need to convert it 1 mile to hour into what? Kilometer per hour. Because the average speed of his swimming, because his average speed of swimming in terms of miles per hour, was 1 mile per hour. 1 mile per hour. And now you need to convert it to kilometer per hour. You need to convert it to kilometer per hour. You need to convert it to kilometer per hour. So you can do it in two different ways. You can do it in two different ways. For an example, he has swimmed 22 miles. 22 miles, that is basically 22 miles equals 22 into 1.61 kilometers. That is going to be an answer. And that is in terms of the kilometer unit. That is going to be in terms of kilometer unit. And you can just you can then just divide this answer, divide by 22. You can just divide this answer by 22, and then you are just gonna get kilometer per hour answer. Or you can just convert this 1 mile per hour into something kilometer per hour. So 1 mile per hour, it will look like 1 mile per hour is just like 1 mile divided by 1 hour. And now we are interested to convert this mile into kilometers. And how can we do that? We can do just like we know that 1 mile is equals to 1.61 kilometers. 1.61 kilometers. Okay, so 1 mile equals 1.61 kilometers. And so if you want to convert this mile to kilometer, then you can just write like 1 into 1.61 kilometer divided by 1 hour. This is gonna be 1.61 kilometer divided by 1 hour, which is nothing but which is nothing but 1.61 kilometer per hour. Am I correct or wrong?
Yeah.
Maybe this could be given in terms of kilometer, and if you were asked to find the mile, then you were just needed to divide it. For an example, maybe it was given just like this, 1 kilometer per hour, 1 kilometer per hour, and then you were just asked what miles per hour, what miles per hour, what miles per hour. Then would you have do? What would have you done? You are just needed to divide it, the kilometer
Mm.
to miles.
Yeah.
I think these problems are quite easy, and I think if you're just gonna solve these problems, you can just easily do this chapter, because unit conversion is nothing but just some basic problems which is necessary, because this prefix which is quite necessary. Please read it, go through these problems, practice bills, go through each and every single problem. At least read it for once, and just try to understand what they are asking, what they are trying to tell you. Do you need to multiply or do you need to divide? Do you need to multiply or do you need to divide? Which one? Which should be your task to do? That is how this chapter is ending here. Problem solving and data analysis, unit conversion. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.